Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. This week we are making a molecular gastronomy fried egg. Now, this video has been made 4 times, and hopefully this time is the time the footage is not corrupt, lost, or in other way missing. Now, the molecular gastronomy part comes from using reverse spherification. Now, this is a lot simpler than it sounds. If you've seen my other normal spherification video, you should have a rough idea by what I mean. But with reverse spherification, we just swap around the additives, making a sodium bath rather than a calcium bath. This also means you can make much larger spheres by freezing out the liquids. Now to start, we want to make a sodium alginate bath. This will require 2 grams of sodium alginate to be blended with 470 ml of water. Now I'm going to be using warm water for this to help it dissolve a little bit better. Now you want to use a hand blender or a powerful blender for this, as the sodium alginate won't mix easily with the water. As you can see, when I try and put the stick blender in, it makes a film around the stick blender, whilst remaining on the surface of the water almost undisturbed. While the air settles out, we want to make our egg yolks. Now for this, we want to either blend 300 grams of fresh mango chunks into a puree with some optional sugar depending on the ripeness for a little bit of sweetness. Or you can simply use some pre-made canned mango puree. Now you want to check the ingredients if you are going to use canned mango puree, as the additives or artificial flavorings we want to try and avoid, as it can affect the gelling properties of the calcium and sodium alginate. Then with your 300 ml of mango puree, you want to add in half a teaspoon of calcium lactate. Now this is being added straight into the mango rather than being a bath this time. Then you can either stir this in, or my preferred method is to blend it in, as it makes sure it's all dispersed and well mixed into the mango puree. Now, whilst blending or mixing, your mango puree may thicken slightly. This is completely fine. Now, as I did mention earlier, I'm first freezing some of my mango puree in half sphere molds, as this is what I've personally had the most success with. Now to make the egg yolks, you can either do it freehand with a round spoon or a scoop, but this is kind of fiddly and I've never had much luck making a egg yolk shape, but you may have some better luck if you want to try that instead. Now it's been about 24 hours since recording the last clip. I've been to work, I've been to sleep, etc. And I did leave some of the mango scoops in the bath, and yeah, they got thick with all the C's. Now, trying to scoop this out was a total failure, but as you can see, I did manage to get hold of some of the jelly-like membrane, and for a taste test, yeah, it's basically water-flavoured jelly. Now, after making up a new bath for my mango yolks, you can see a lot easier the sodium alginate making the film around the stick blender. Then to this, once again, once it's settled and all of the air has been removed, you want to add your frozen rounds of mango. Now I'm starting with the smaller ones, as I think these will be a lot easier to handle. Then just add them to the bath and let the outer layer defrost, whilst keeping them moving, making sure they do not stick together. And then just carefully scoop them out and place them in a normal water bath to let them fully defrost. Now I do really want to make a large egg yolk here, but these were super fragile and broke apart in the bath almost every time, but we'll come back to that later. Now for the egg white, you want to combine 125 ml of milk with 2 grams of agar powder. Now this is basically a heat activated gelling agent that is often used in place of gelatin for vegan recipes. Now it's not as soft as gelatin, but it sets a lot firmer and is kind of a lot more brittle, as it has no stretch to it. So this isn't really good for gummy bears or anything if you like the stretchy pull to them. Now you want to heat this until the milk is almost at a boil and then remove from the heat. Now you want to be really careful how you mix this, I'm using a spatula. My first time doing this I used a whisk, and I got a lot of air bubbles in there, and unlike gelatin, this sets when it's cooled, so you want to act fast and try and keep as little air out of this as possible. Then you want to add in 150 ml of plain yogurt and then mix well. Then pour some onto a cool plate or whatever you wish to serve these on. Then you want to give it a little tip to make it a more natural egg white shape instead of just a round mound of egg white. And as you can see from this, it is already firming up already as soon as it hits the plate. Now I also poured some smaller ones into a frying pan and then had another failed attempt at making a large egg yolk. Then you want to place your mango spheres on top of the set egg whites, trying to remove as much water as possible, as they can slide around on the smooth agar gel. Now, not wanting to be beaten by some mango puree, I had one last attempt. I placed a large mango blob in the bath, let it defrost slightly and then moved it to the water, and then placed it on top of the large yogurt egg white and let it defrost at room temperature on that rather than letting it defrost in the bath. Now, as I say, the larger the liquid you use, the more fragile it will be due to the increased weight, and it's only a thin membrane anyway. And there you have it, molecular fried eggs. Now to do the cut test, as you can see, the yolk is nice and runny whilst the egg white is nice and firm and can easily be eaten with a knife and a fork, just like a real fried egg. And that wraps up this week's video. Now it's finally here after 4 attempts, but as always, if you like what you saw, let me know down below with a like and a comment. If you're indeed new here, feel free to subscribe for free weekly cooking content, and I will hopefully see you all again next week. Thanks for watching.